What's up, everybody? Welcome to Parents Under the Stairs. This is a very special episode. We got guests with us this time. First of all, my co-host.
I'm Presley.
Yeah. And then we got Crazy8 and Lady8. You guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
I'm Crazy8, part of Horror Crunk Entertainment, Hellbound Disciples. Yeah. I'm having a good day so far.
Lady8, or Aaron is totally fine.
I like Lady8.
Yeah, let's go Lady8.
It's got like it's got a Kill Bill vibe to it, and we're huge Kill Bill fans over at this house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Cool, guys. So we'll get into the topic. The episode idea is something that we all kind of came up with together, but I think it's something that's very dear to our significant others, right, Sean?
Right.
Yep. Because both of you guys are Indigenous.
Yeah, y'all married Indigenous women. Good job.
Yeah. Lucky us, though, right? So,
Right.
yeah, this episode is going to be dedicated to Indigenous film and TV. And we're going to be getting into genres a little bit more than just horror. I think a lot of the stuff kind of borders on horror, cult movies and stuff. But because the genre itself is so small and underrepresented, if we were just to do horror, it would be a pretty short episode. So we're going to get into everything that we can and everything that we want, like that we know of. And because there's still a lot more on the horizon to explore, because I think there's a lot more filmmakers nowadays being represented in the Indigenous community, and there's like stuff coming out and stuff that just came out that we're going to be talking about. We might end up having a part 2 of this. So if there's stuff that you didn't hear, write it in the comments and maybe we'll talk about it in the second one. So let's get into it, guys. First, we're going to go into some horror films. You want to start, Presley? Oops,
Sure.
Wrong notes. There we go.
Okay, the first one is Blood Quantum, 2019, directed by Jeff Barnaby. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah, we saw about half of it.
Oh,
We were trying to finish it up before got on.
Yeah,
So-
podcasting's hard. You got to cram.
I know it's I can't lie. It took me a long time to want to watch it because I saw it and Ian's like, "Oh, hey, that looks pretty cool." And I was like, "It's just going to be another like whitewashed version. Like, I'm not into it. It's going to let me down and I don't want that." And then I watched it. I actually took the time and watched it, and it was one of my like favorite movies I've seen in the last few years.
Yeah, Aaron, what did you think of what you saw so far?
It did have a slow start.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but what did you think of like the setting and like the acting and stuff like that? I think that they kind of nailed like kind of a good post-apocalyptic in like a small zone.
They definitely did.
Yeah. What about you, Crazy8? What did you think of Blood Quantum? What you saw so far?
There's some good fucking kill scenes in there.
Oh yeah.
To start off with. Yeah, as far as the setting, like it was kind of corny at first, but then when it got into it, it gets good. It was just getting good. So.
Oh my god, it gets so sad, and it's an interesting take on zombie movies. Like, only a certain race doesn't get infected, and I think that's like my favorite thing. Besides all the, I grew up on an Indian reservation in Montana, so like, you know, I've been told like we have accents and stuff. So when I hear a native person talking, like I know they're native, if that makes sense. But that was my favorite part of the movie. I'm like, yep, this is great.
And Jeff Barnaby, the director, he's been representing Indigenous people in his films. I actually don't have a list of his movies in front of me, but there was a couple that he's made before this. They were like indie films, but I guess they're pretty like just like this movie. They have really heavy subject matter. They really like kind of hit you hard, because when you guys finish Blood Quantum, let us know what you think, because it like kicks you in the balls pretty hard.
It does.
It knocks
And
the wind out of you for sure.
He said that like he doesn't know if a lot of like non-Indigenous people would understand it, but he said that's okay. They don't have to, because it's not really for them. Like, it's like a love letter to, you know, First Nations people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So speaking of I don't know. You mentioned balls. I got to the point where she fucking did his dick off. So
Oh my
spoiler.
god. Yeah.
Bit off.
Yeah, spoiler.
So,
Where we're at.
Yeah.
what'd you think of that, Aaron?
That I should have seen that coming. I mean, just from the comedy of some of these scenes, yeah, should have seen that coming.
He kind of fucking deserved it for pointing that gun at that pregnant girl.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
he deserved it a lot, and that's one thing I liked about Blood Quantum is it wasn't trying to make you love every single character. It was a lot like a George Romero film, like the Dawn of the Dead movie or Day of the Dead, where everyone's kind of stuck in these claustrophobic areas, like, and you know, people start getting at each other's throats, and like, and if you remember, dude that got his dick bit off roofied the chick like right before that happened too, so he totally deserved it.
Yeah, he's like crushing up a bunch of pills.
Yeah,
and
he crushed
like,
up
put
some
it
pills
in
and
her
put it in
beer.
her beer. So he was like,
Oh shit! I didn't
yeah.
even catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he and like, not to like spoil too hard, but like, yeah, he gets someone else from that compound, like another native person to help him like defect against everybody, and another girl. So like, yeah, a couple of like the characters that you're kind of like rooting for at, like in the beginning of the movie, characters that are actually kind of funny, become actually really fucking evil, and like they're doing whatever he's saying. It's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of realistic because I mean, humans are just fucking evil,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
for
in that
sure.
kind of setting, I mean, I imagine a lot of us would be completely different people.
Yeah, and they were getting really mad because they were like, they kept letting people in, and they were like, what the fuck? Like, this was supposed to be our safe place. Why are you bringing people here?
Mhm.
So I think the fact that the brother had married like a white woman, kind of really, I don't know, hit him where it hurt, I guess. Because I've gotten some flack for marrying a white man, and like,
Sorry about that.
that exists. No, fuck them. It's fine.
Aaron,
It
have you
does.
ever gotten any flack for that?
No, they
Yeah.
absolutely love him and wanted him adopted into a tribe so we could be like
Aww.
Nick is official.
Aww. How could you not? He's so fucking cute. Awesome. Yeah. So I think, yeah, we don't want to spoil too much about Blood Quantum for you guys or the audience, but this movie is a Shudder exclusive. It came out on Shudder. So if you haven't gotten your free 1 week of Shudder yet, do that just for Blood Quantum, and their other exclusives are pretty good. If not, it's worth just the $5 to get Shudder just to see that movie alone. Like, it's really fucking good.
One thing to say, if you don't have Shudder, I highly recommend it because all those exclusives that I've seen so far are pretty good.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into another one in a second here, and that's Mohawk from 2017. Mohawk, something that also came out on Shudder a few years ago, and I didn't watch it until like a week ago because of this episode, and I'm really fucking glad I got to check it out. Sean, you got to check it out too. Aaron, did you see it? Mohawk?
I did.
You did? What did you think?
It starts out really cheesy
Mhm.
and you already like don't want to like it, but it has a really great story. I loved it.
Yeah, the storytelling was complex. Like, it wasn't just a straightforward story. There were a lot of twists, turns, and arcs for the characters. What was the name of the lead actress? Lead actor, as you're supposed to say nowadays?
I don't know. She has such like, her name is native as fuck.
Her name
I
is
don't
really
remember
fucking
it.
native.
It's Kanihito. I don't know. Horn.
Exactly.
Her last name.
Yes, her
Yeah.
last name's Horn.
Mrs. Horn. Yeah, and she's great. I think she's gonna. I think she might end up getting typecasted a lot as the badass like lead female, which is what she's good at. But I could totally see her like in one of those revenge movies taking out like 100 dudes or something. But
Definitely.
yeah, but she's great in this one. She takes out like a whole army, and I'm trying to remember what exact war was happening at this time. Sean, you knew a little bit of history on this.
Yeah, it was during the Revolutionary War.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 1918.
Yeah.
Revolutionary War. Yeah.
Whoa, so that's extremely close to Prey, which is the next movie we're going to be talking about, or pretty close. But So it's basically just about the Mohawk tribe is kind of stuck in between the politics of the British and the Americans on who they're going to be not rivals with, but who they're going to be allianced with. And the lead character's boyfriend. I thought they were brother and sister at first until they kissed, and I was like, and then also like, because I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but it's like they're having like a threesome relationship, sort of, which was very
Okay,
strange. Yeah. So like once I realized that, I would realize they weren't brother and sister anymore, and like I think I might have actually looked it up, but anyway, yeah, his name was I'm trying to remember his name. But yeah, her boyfriend, he was part of the Mohawk tribe, goes off and murders like 7 British dudes or 7 American dudes, and they will do anything they can to capture the rest of the Mohawk tribe and slaughter them. And so the rest of the movie is them trying to get to like a safe area, which is like a missionary church, which is upriver, and they're just being chased by Americans, and it's pretty terrifying because like you can honestly look at it and then like look at today, like lynch mobs and shit like that, and it was like really like I don't know. To me, it reflected on that a lot, just like how scary it is to be a person of color being like chased down by like a fucking mob of maniacs. But once they got to that church, dude, it was fucking brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else you guys want to say about that one? I mean, the effects were done by a previous guest of the network, Marcus Cook, and his wife, Jessie Seitz. And they are very talented. They worked on the guinea pig films, the American guinea pig films. They did Jacob's Wife, which is actually on Shudder,
Such a
too.
good movie.
Which, if you guys haven't seen that, it's a really cool twist on the vampire film. Actually, no, it's on Amazon, I think. Amazon or Shudder?
It's on Shudder now.
Okay. Yeah, Jacob's Wife is really good. But yeah, the gore effects in Mohawk were all done by them, and they actually also did the makeup effects as well. They actually got stuck doing everything, so I thought they did a fantastic job.
I don't know if it wasn't her brother, right? So they were in like a
Yeah, it was a threesome relationship.
type relationship thing, because when like a part in the movie where they're like
Partying.
yeah, so the white dude is not there, and they're like face to face. I think they kissed, but I'm like, oh, well,
yeah, they
You're
kissed on
like,
the lips.
what's going on?
Yeah, they kissed on the lips.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a part where like her mother, Oak's mother, the lead character's name is Oak, tells her something about sleeping with both of them at the same time, or how they both keep you warm at night, or something like that. So they just kind of like insinuate at it, but yeah, I don't know, different times, you know. And he was a Frenchman, so you know, who knows what was going on over in France at the time.
She's like, I'm pregnant, and he's like, is it mine? Like he knows.
Yeah, but that guy was pretty cool too. Like how he was kind of just like he was doing whatever he could to fight for his Mohawk family. Like he was totally like he was down for them for whatever. He was down to die for them. And yeah, he ended up being a badass.
Yeah. And like I was gonna say that other native guy, like his paint was fucking tight.
Yeah. Yeah, the half
like,
black face,
like,
I guess. I don't want to call it that,
yeah.
but yeah, all the makeup was great, and so that was Marcus and Jesse also did all like the face makeup stuff too. They like did everything on there. So I think that movie, yeah, it starts off. You notice that the camera work is a little bit low budget. You notice that like it's not lit that much. It's all natural lighting from the sun and stuff because it's in the woods. So it kind of looks like a backyard, like backwoods. Some people making a movie in the backwoods. Then it kind of just opens up into this big thing with this big story with good effects, good acting, and like by the end of the movie, like it's totally like holds up to a Hollywood film, I would say.
But it ends up badass. Yeah, that revenge. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
The choreography was good too. There's some good fights.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I have to confess.
Yeah, she didn't watch it.
No.
But I think now maybe you might check it out.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood to watch a movie, so
Yeah.
I let him watch it. I've seen everything else we're talking about.
Yeah. It's like you guys have found out, it's tough to cram for a podcast when you're like, okay, you got a week. Here are the movies to watch. And don't forget you have a job and children and you have to eat 3 meals a day and go to bed at a reasonable time. So, yeah. Anyway, speaking of good choreography and fights, let's get into Prey 2022. This is like totally the Predator in the room, if you want to call it. Like, this is like... This is the big movie of the year, I would say.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And not only is it the big movie of the year, but it's a huge movie for Indigenous people, I would say. Would you guys say so?
Fun fact, the lead is enrolled on my res. Like, she's a tribal member of the same tribe as me.
That's tight.
so cool.
Fuck yeah.
Hold on a second. So, what was that? What was that one movie? Magnificent Eight or no?
Ridiculous Seven? No, because that's like I heard that one's not too great for the native people.
The Adam Sandler one.
Yeah.
Oh.
It had Denzel Washington in it. It's like Magnificent Seven or
Magnificent Seven. Like it's like a remake of the old Western.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from my tribe.
Yeah. So the native guy in there. Yeah, he's from her tribe.
Oh, nice. And what's your tribe again?
Tlingit.
What is it?
Tlingit.
Oh, okay. How do you spell that?
Tlingit.
Oh, okay.
See, I thought you said K. There was a K, but no, it's a T. Cool.
And that's and you're from Alaskan tribe, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And like, where around Alaska is that?
I'm from Juneau, but I also grew Southeast Alaska.
Oh, okay. Cool. Isn't it like? Is that where it's like dark all year?
Not all year. So where I'm at, like the further up you go, you're not going to get any light in the winter.
Okay.
But it's reversed in the summer where it's going to be light all the time.
Oh.
I mean, it was like maybe 4 hours of dark during the summer, but then it'd be reversed in the winter where you maybe get 3 or 4 hours of light.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
See,
I would go
you've
crazy.
Seen 30 Days of Night.
I have seen 30 Days of Night. I actually have to admit, I'm not a fan of that movie.
I fucking love that movie.
Every time I watch that movie, I like it loses my attention. I don't know why. I get bored, but I want to like it. I've watched it like 10 times trying to like it. I can't like it. Maybe I'll like the sequel. I don't know. But anyway, let's get into Prey. 2022, directed by Dan Trachtenberg. What did you guys think?
Okay. Let me try to remember like key moments of the movie, but I know it was badass.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
It's
that's a good way of putting it for sure.
I think it was a kind of like it was slow a little bit too at first, like kind of just laying down the tracks. But then once like it got actiony, It was like insane.
Yeah.
I personally like the slow moments better than the action moments, to be honest. I thought it really built a really good like setting, and it really because like I said, I don't think native people get enough representation, and especially like really authentic. And this felt a lot more authentic, so I was really immersed like in the setting and like the time. It was 1709, right? Was that one in the movie?
I think it was in the 1700s.
Yeah.
So I was just like really interested in like how what they were eating and like the medicinal herbs they were using and like what they were hunting, and like also the French trappers that were kind of like surrounding their camp and stuff. Like, so there's just so much going on that I was like really into. And I heard a lot of people say the beginning was a little boring, but honestly I was hooked. Like as soon as like you go to the camp, as soon as it showed the camp, I was like, damn, this is so awesome.
I think it was good at building suspense.
It was
like
captivating.
It was good at building suspense. So I had to think for a moment, like, now I remember. So like, her gathering that orange stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No,
the flour and stuff. Which she ends up saving like the French translator, who was like, that dude was a goofball, but she's like ended up saving him so she can like trade him for a gun, and she like learned how to use a gun, which was like kind of crazy that the end of it like hinged on her like learning how to use a gun and Predator technology and shit, and like adapting to different technologies and shit, basically like evolving to like a technological, like, I don't know. It was crazy how she, because imagine like when they first see the Predator lasers go on them, like what they would think. at that time. Like that's
Yeah, they just looked at him. They were like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
like it
Yeah.
must look like a sunbeam or something, but like they don't that how would that register to you? I don't know. It's just there's so much
there's-
shit that just made my brain turn and like just want more.
There's like nothing else that they can compare it to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Like,
they were
what-
brutal kills too.
Yeah, the
Oh,
gore.
really good. I think my favorite one was the bear, probably.
Yeah, the bear kill was sick.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I can't even like when she makes that axe with a rope on it, which is just like at first kind of seems like they even make a joke about how it kind of seems like you need a rope on your axe or whatever. But when you see her using it, like she's like teaches herself like a new martial arts style. Basically, it's like Gogo Yubara from Kill Bill again.
There's so many memes from that movie too.
Yeah, it's getting memed like crazy.
So good.
Yeah, at first it kind of gave me Revenant vibes.
Oh,
Have you guys seen that?
Revenant. I've seen parts
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's long. It's long, but yeah, no, I get that. The setting and everything. Yeah.
And with the fur trappers and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I really love movies that take place in the woods and when people get lost or whatever and they have to like find a way to like live as long as possible. It's a lot of fun with those kinds of movies. So it's also awesome in Mohawk, you know, when they get fucking lost, the Americans get lost because they can't guide through the forest, and like the natives have no problem at all, and they're like taking off their uniforms and like sweating and shit. So I love it. Yeah, the kills in Prey are just amazing. I think it's the goriest Predator film. I'd say it's the most action-packed Predator film by far. Like once you get past the first part, it's just nonstop action. Yeah. Anything else on that one?
I liked his costume.
Yeah, the Predator looked great.
He had like the skull he was wearing. Like it was dope.
He was more
Yeah, kinda
slim, like tall and
Yeah.
slim.
it kind of confused me at first. I was like, is that a helmet or is that
Yeah.
like him? You know?
Yeah, like if
But
it was like a bone exoskeleton kind of thing, like I don't know.
Yeah. And then she knocked it off, and then I was like, oh, okay, it's a helmet.
Yeah. Definitely recommend Prey for anyone though. Wherever is it? Amazon, right? Amazon.
Hulu.
Hulu
It's on
exclusive.
Hulu.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Hulu's kind of baller lately too, I'd say. Like, I don't know. Some of these companies, they're putting out some good shit. I don't want to give too much credit, but
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Hell yeah.
on Hulu?
On Hulu. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I know what I'm doing after this. Just kidding. Smoke Signals next. We're going into some comedy. This is a classic, 1998, directed by Chris Iyer. I saw this when I was really, really young. I think I probably saw it when it came out on VHS in like 99 or something like that. So, when did you guys see this one?
When's the last time we saw it?
Do you remember? I don't know. When was the first time? When was the last time?
A couple weeks ago, probably. I mean, we watch it pretty religiously. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome. It's a total comfort movie for sure, but it's got some really sad, like heart-ripping stuff in it too. And that's kind of a common theme with a lot of these movies is like the theme of loss, and whether that's losing someone to death or anything else, like someone moving or going away from you. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of sad shit in these movies. Like every single one we mentioned has some sad shit in it, I think. So
Yeah.
but
Well, I think that's important to talk about because the native culture, there's a lot of devastating.
a lot of tragedy.
Yeah, there's so much sad stuff that occurs that doesn't get talked about and gets swept under the rug a lot. So I think a lot of like the things we've talked about, it's like pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like in Smoke Signals, you know, his dad and his mom were drinking a lot. Someone died in a friggin' house fire, you know, like
Yeah, because they're just all partying and they all
Yeah.
fell asleep and shit. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you've told me so many stories like that from your res. And, like, I don't know. It's super sad. And, like, I don't know. Every time you talk to your relatives, it's like you're catching up, but you're usually catching up on, like, who.
I was like,
who's
oh yeah,
gone
someone
now.
died. Like,
Yeah.
it's not funny by any means, but like, it's so like
It's
don't
like
know.
almost ironic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's ironic how every week you have someone new to talk about.
Yeah.
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 And then like also like car accidents and drinking and stuff are really big on your res too, and that's something that happens in this movie. And like, did that kind of give you flashbacks, like that scene when they get in the car accident? Like I was thinking a lot about like, I don't know, some stuff that you've told me.
Yeah, but the thing is, that car accident scene, it's reversed where it's the rich white guy that was
Yeah.
drinking and driving.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then Victor's like, I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life.
That was
so.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he goes into the sheriff's station.
We was framed. He said, we was framed.
Oh yeah. So what's your guys' favorite Thomas moment?
Oh my God. We heard it in the wind. We heard it in the wind. Plus your mom was just in here crying. Probably that one. There's so many I could say that whole movie. Like we've seen it so many times.
That's awesome.
So I actually saw it when it first came out on VHS. And it was huge with our family. And actually 2 of them got to go to the movie theater when it first came in. And they swear they were the only 2 natives there because anytime like humor came up that were relatable, they were laughing so loud that everyone was looking at them strange. Like they just don't get it.
Yeah. Yep.
I've definitely had to explain some native humor to Ian.
Oh yeah. It's crazy because when I watch stuff like Smoke Signals, even like, because the first time I watched it I was probably like 11 or 12, and then now I watch it after meeting her and hearing so many stories and hearing native slang and just knowing kind of how things are. It's a whole different movie. It's like it all kind of makes sense now, you know. But yeah, it's great. And do you guys watch it on VHS, DVD? I feel like the best way to watch that would be on VHS, because it's just like that's how I have the memories of Smoke Signals. It's like a VHS tape.
No,
I wish.
Yeah, we have it on DVD.
Yeah.
I think we watched it at school a lot because I was born and raised on the res. So like we'd have like days where we wouldn't do shit, and the teacher's like, "You guys want to watch Smoke Signals?" Like, fuck yeah, we do.
And
I'm pretty sure ours is in the safe.
Yeah. It's the most prized possession in this house.
I bet.
Smokes. Yeah.
Our next one that we're going to talk about is a TV show. So yeah, Reservation Dogs, also people call it Res Dogs. It's a huge show. Advertising is everywhere now, which is awesome. Seeing a movie or a show like this, which actually feels a lot like a movie because it's like, I don't know, it's got a very cinematic, like artistic feel to it. I feel it. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but it's just really well shot and good music and like good lighting, and it just doesn't feel like your average TV show. But it's funny, but I think it tips more on the drama side. Would you guys say it's more drama or comedy?
I think more drama with like just jabs, comedy jabs.
Yeah.
Jabs in it. Yeah.
The first episode I felt was really comedic, and then it just kind of gets more and more serious as the series goes on, you know?
Yeah, it kind of shows like the res is a nice place to visit, but if you stay, it gets pretty fucking sad. Like, because at first they're like, they rob that chip truck and they like, remember they like drive it to the junkyard and like they get like free chips and stuff, and like everyone's kind of having a good party and stuff. But then it goes more into suicide, loss, addiction, and stuff like that. Kind of some of the themes that we've touched on. And yeah, that show like really hits hard for sure.
For sure.
I like the humor. There's always just subtle little things, and they're always like Skoden, Studis, and then in the most recent episode, or like one of the more recent ones, have you guys ever watched that video where he's like, "Oh, you just fucking missing her or what?" Cause yeah. And then she like pulls out that eyeliner and looks at him, and she's like, "Just fucking missing her." It's so good. It's just shit like that. I love it.
Yeah.
And then the owl.
She's my favorite character.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Which one is that? Willie Jack.
Willie Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. She just had to tell me her name because I never caught it. I think I was just like, couldn't believe her name was actually Willie Jack. But yeah, that's just
He's
a crazy
like,
name.
Lily? Lily Jack?
Lily? Yeah, I thought
Lily.
it was. I could not figure it out. But yeah, she's hilarious. I think she's a great character, and I think I'd like to see her in more stuff for sure. I think everybody else in that show's in some other stuff. Like, Bear, I've seen in some. What was the Beans?
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the movie Beans?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's like a Canadian-based movie. It's on the Mohawk Res, I believe, and it's a drama about this like 14-year-old girl, like native girl, lives on the res and whatnot, but she's really smart and she's trying to get a scholarship to go to the school. But then it takes place in the 90s, and it's kind of during where someone's trying to build a golf course on like the like sacred burial grounds. So there's a huge war going on with that, and then there's her kind of like not wanting to, you know, stray too far from home, so she like meets a friend, and it's actually Willie Jack. She plays this like really hardened res girl, and then Bear is her brother in that, and it kind of shows her wanting to be like friends with them, and you know, you can tell she still wants to go to school and stuff, but she wants to like belong with these people, you know, like her people. And it's a drama, and it's so good.
Shit, let's watch it.
Well,
I'll watch it again.
what was it called?
Beans.
It's called Beans.
What year is that from?
Beans?
You know? Beans.
No,
Like-
beads, right?
Like baked beans.
Like baked beans. Yeah.
Oh, beads.
Yeah, that's her nickname. Her name is like Indigenous as fuck, and no one can say it. So she's like, but you can call me Beans.
Oh, I watched part of that movie.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
like 2019, I think.
Yeah,
It's really
pretty,
recent.
Pretty recent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. Okay, I want to watch the whole one of that and see how.
Oh,
that
it's sad, but it's so good.
I don't know if I need another sad movie though.
It's-
After watching
it
all
ends
this.
nicely. It ends nicely. There's a happy ending, I
Okay.
promise.
All right. Cool. Yeah, and
I was just about to say.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just about to say. I wish there was more stuff with her in it, like in the
Yeah.
future. You know.
Mhm.
God, she
Yeah.
plays like a fucking shit kid in that movie. In Beans, I'm like, she's kind of unlikable at first because she's so mean, but she just reminds me of like every native girl that's ever bullied me when I was young.
Fucking shit ass, huh?
Yeah, little shit ass.
Yep. That's common language around our house. Shit ass.
Shit ass.
Yep. Turd ass. Yeah.
Oh, I think another TV show worth mentioning is Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Have you guys seen Yellowstone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
the way up to the fourth season or something.
yeah, there's 4 seasons now. It's so weird to me because that takes place on an like kind of by an Indian reservation and a little bit off, and like I do like the native representation, but I don't like that one chick is not native and she's like one of the main characters.
Kelsey Chow.
Yeah, well she goes by Kelsey Asbill or something. But yeah, she changed her last name and she says she's like Cherokee, and the Cherokee tribe like denounced her.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, they're like, she's not enrolled, she never has been, she never will be. It was like brutal shit. But like Adam Beach called her out, and then it's kind of been a big thing. So I'm kind of wondering if Yellowstone is kind of like gonna, I don't know if they'll like get rid of her, but they kind of hinted at something, I
She's
think.
such a big character in that show, though.
I know, but then the last season finale ends with her husband saying like, "Oh, I had a vision and I saw the end of us," because you know he goes on that fucking vision quest up in the hills and shit.
I wasn't a fan of Yellowstone personally. I don't know why.
What?
Something about it, I just couldn't.
It's
First
a lot.
couple episodes were good. I think it was just like, it was just too much fucking like, I don't know, rich white people.
It's just
shit, I
redneck
guess.
mafia.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also Letterkenny was another one to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Did we bring that up already?
No.
Okay, that one's pretty
No, not
cool. Like, there's a good indigenous like click in there that pops up. I would say every episode.
Pretty frequently.
Yeah, pretty episode, and they're like, they definitely dig into the humor of like, is that where does that take place? Is it? It's not Saskatchewan, is it?
No, it's somewhere in Canada.
Somewhere, yeah. But-
Yeah, it's somewhere by Quebec
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, it's like
on the
super
east coast of Canada.
Yeah,
really
the town
easy.
is called Letterkenny. I think I'd have to say that's fictional, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, that
Yeah,
show.
I'm not sure.
That show is like, I don't know, some of the puns, man, they make me feel stupid. Like,
They're
like I'm
so
like,
good.
what am I watching? But like, it's hilarious. And then what?
It's so good.
Shoresy is the new show. Shoresy
Yeah,
is like a
and then
hockey
there's
show.
like 2 main native chicks like right off the bat. Like I think he's playing for a native team. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
I really appreciate the Indigenous representation because it's so like in your face, and they also have little like little subtle hints, like the humor and stuff. Like Tannis calls herself Auntie, and like the Auntie memes are really big too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good inside humor on there. And then you make me feel like I'm part of it, which is great.
You are.
Aw.
I adopted you.
So let's get into Wind River 2017. This one's a full-on drama, mystery thriller, directed by Taylor Sheridan. You guys got a chance to see it, I'm pretty sure, right? Wind River?
Yeah.
What did you guys think about it?
I like it. It's definitely one of my favorites that I'll watch. He watched it for the first time today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What did you think?
So I think I've seen it before, and all I remembered was the really bad scene, like her getting raped and stuff. I remembered that scene.
That part's fucked up, dude.
So all the other stuff was new to me. And so it was really, really good. And that scene just pissed me off. I wanted to punch my TV screen.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was a good, really good, like, representation on reality. Really, that a lot of Indigenous women are missing, and there's not a demographic, whatever, for it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like no one keeps track of it. And like, you know, when they were doing the autopsy on her, and like the guy was like, well, clearly she was murdered, but I can't write that because she died from, you know, her lungs being frozen.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing too. Like, it's a lot of people don't really like talk about it, but a lot of the missing and murdered like Indigenous people's cases are like people kind of rewrite the fucking history. They say like, oh, well, this person died of natural causes, and it's like a 16-year-old doesn't fucking die of natural causes. Or they'll say it's like a
drug
suicide,
overdose, but really that person was like shot up with heroin and raped,
and there's like foul play.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, and that's pretty much like, I don't know, I mean, she gets away from them. So the movie's about a girl that is in a relationship with someone. I don't want to say who she's in a relationship with because it is a mystery and doesn't give it away until the very end, which kind of hinges on this rape scene that we're talking about. That's why we're talking about it so much, because that's basically where the whole movie changes, where you're like, oh, fuck, that's what's going on. But yeah, so this girl is found dead in the middle of the snow. It's like 2 miles out from anything. She like ran 2 or 5 miles in the snow, barefoot.
6 miles.
6 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tribal police can't do too much about it and won't do too much about it. They bring in the FBI, who's played by
Elizabeth Olsen,
and she's just a fish out of water. She's dressed like she's in Florida, and she's in the middle of Montana in the winter. Wyoming, sorry. And so she enlists a local hunter, Jeremy Renner, who's tracking a family of lion cubs in the area. And she's like, instead of tracking those cubs, why don't you help me track some real monsters? And he becomes one of the biggest badasses in the world.
Yeah, and he becomes really invested because he was married to a Native woman, and his daughter had passed away like the year prior. Mm-hmm. So he really, there's like, you know, it's personal for him.
Very much so. So yeah, this movie is very brutal. I wouldn't say I would say it's rated R, and it's got some blood, some disturbing rape scene and stuff like that. But I would recommend it to anyone that can handle that. It's a must see.
I think even if people can't handle it, they need to watch it because it's important subject matter.
It's the reality. Yeah, it is the reality.
Like that scene is so short. Like you could pretty much close your eyes and that's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, like, yeah, the movie's really good. Really good.
And I would even recommend it to horror fans because it's a horrific movie, honestly. Like it's not a horror movie, it's a mystery thriller, but like it goes places that are real.
There is revenge in it.
Yeah, it's definitely a revenge flick. And if you consider the revenge category horror, then yes, it is.
And partly reality, because that shit happens all the time. Like, rapes happen all the time.
Yep.
Missing women all the time. Like, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah,
you go down the rabbit hole.
When you reach our age, it's like true life horror is a lot scarier than any monster or fictionalized serial killer. Like, true life horror is, to me, what gets me down to my heart the most.
That's why I like fucked up movies.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's a nice break from reality.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. When they merge with reality, it's even better.
Yes.
Yep. I agree.
I think that's what I liked about that film, though. It touched on a lot of reality. Like, even if it wasn't obvious, like when they did send in that new rookie FBI, they kind of were like blowing off the situation. Like, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Like it happens all the time. Because it does.
Yeah, they thought they could. I mean, the tribal police and were basically trying to see if they could kind of slip it under the rug with the FBI chick, and she's like, "No, we're gonna figure this out." So
yeah, and she got so pissed when she's like, "So you're not gonna write that she was murdered?"
Mm-hmm.
And that guy's like, "I literally can't do that."
I don't know. It's one of those movies where like the antagonist done something so bad that you're actually rooting for the FBI. You know they did something bad.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm not rooting for the cops.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, fuck the police all the fucking way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the beginning, so it was based on real events.
Oh really?
Yeah. So, and they only had a story to tell because that FBI agent. Really, I give all the credit to that FBI agent because she stepped up and she refused to leave it alone. And there wouldn't have been a story unless she, it would have just been another statistic.
Damn, man. I want to look into the real story on that and see, like, I don't know, see how they framed it around that. Because, like, some dark shit, but it's sad because it happens all the time, all around this country, all around the world. So, fuck. Sad way to end the episode, unless you guys have anything else to talk about. Any other movies?
The other one we're going to mention.
Revenant?
The Haida.
Oh yeah. So there's a movie on Shudder. I think it's a Shudder original. It's called The Edge of the Knife, and it's a Haida film, and so it's closer to where she's from. In Alaska.
All in Haida.
Yeah, and so it's all in Haida.
Haida language, is that Alaskan Native?
Yeah.
Language?
Yeah,
Oh,
Alaskan
okay.
Native.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's by like the Clinton Haida Council or the Haida Council. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
like it was actually done by them.
Oh, cool.
And it was a really good.
That's badass. I'll have to check that out. Edge of the Knife. There's a lot of movies that, like, especially horror films that like touch on like Native American culture, but like it's questionable on how reliable it is. Like, for example, well, there's the one go-to would be Chief Woodenhead from Creepshow 2, which is terrible because the dude's like obviously painted his fucking face and is wearing a wig and shit.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then there's like The Prophecy, which is like that like mutated bear movie where there's like the activists and stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. But anyway, and then there's another Prophecy movie with Christopher Walken, which you watched with us
That was ridiculous.
had a lot of weird like Native American spirituals.
Walking.
And
Yeah.
Poltergeist 2 had a lot of like Native American shamanism and stuff in it too. It's just like I just didn't really feel like bringing those up because like I don't know, it's always seems kind of questionable how authentic it is, but the ones we brought up tonight I feel like pretty authentic when it comes down to it.
Pretty solid representation. Like, I'm not mad at it, and usually I am not okay walking away from movies that like portray natives.
Yeah, no one painted their face for this one, so that's good. No one wore any. I don't know. So yeah, cool. Before we close it out, do you guys have anything left to say? Definitely listen to fucking Crazy8 Snapcase on Horror Crunk Music. Like, he's does beats for our network. So you probably heard them. Yeah, anything to plug on your side, Sean?
Keep an eye out for Shane Poppenwolf's new album coming out. The Great Lakes Butcher. Keep an eye out for our album, Hellbound Disciples, coming out soon, within the next month or so. We're Hellbound Disciples and Bloodshot. We're doing a show in Houston coming up on October 29th. So with Team Trash and with a bunch of other badass artists. So check that out. We have tickets on sale too. So anybody in the Houston area watching, hit us up for tickets.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds good. And thank you so much, Lady8, Aaron, for coming on the show on the network. It was really nice to have you as a guest, our very first Parents Under the Stairs guest.
Yay.
So,
Yay, thank you.
yeah, thanks so much. Definitely, everybody listening, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us. We're on the Quality Violent Cinema Network for podcasting if you listen to podcasts. Yeah, all that shit. Thanks so much for watching.